Sure, why not? It's been a hot minute since we saw a shoehead video. Are women okay? No, women are not okay because they can't seem to get men these days, you know? So they have to basically how do I say, resolve to either AI boyfriends or AI girlfriends or reading, like, as you can see, some fictional novel about a monster basically seducing the females in a very romantic way, in a very, like, you know, yeah, don't you know about that? I thought you know about that. There's actually literally books about it where literally they either get kidnapped by a monster and basically they do monster fucking. That's a thing. That is a thing. I know about this. I know about this on 100% fact because it's in the hentai community, but this is like the Western version of it. Were they out? Pillow and Panda don't count. They are bros like you.
Oh, I didn't see you there. What am I reading, you ask?
Well, there's nothing wrong about that, but the problem is, right, when females start shaming guys for liking that, even though females are into that shit, and they get upset when the guys criticize the females because the females criticize the guys, it's like, well,
just one of the best-selling books on Amazon right now, with millions of sales and almost—
So in this day and age, right, if you don't know, Panda, certain female demographics start pushing guys downwards, like they're pushing them down and making them feel like shitty people, especially when they start like gooning, you know, like they like females, you know, or if they like let's say like a monster girl or something, you know, they'll definitely start like basically, like, I guess you could say kink shaming them, or just shaming them in general. It'd be like, oh wow, look at you, you're so like a gooner, you'll never find a woman in blah blah blah, and you know, etc etc etc, you know, fill in. Basically, like, in this day and age, they basically, like, I'm gonna call those females Karens, which they are, but unfortunately it makes you,
women definitely not doing
me,
well when they are losing them to
Panda,
Sister Hong Sunako to
and any other female look bad, you know, because they think that all females basically are alike and they're gonna hate guys, you know, gooning on females, you know, even though it's in their biology for guys to goon on very attractive women. At the end of the day, that's just how the human psyche is, and that's how it's been for millions of years. So I just don't understand the logic of hating somebody, of, like, you know, okay, listen here, guys, any women that think so, I am not part of that group. See, YouTube audiences, I have some female audiences here in my Twitch chat, you know. You can like anyone you will. Well, apparently, well, here, I'm gonna show you. You got, for my female audiences, from my YouTube audiences side and on my Twitch side, this is a very interesting story to hear. For God's sakes, I have female friends where we literally talk about, like, dark fantasies, which is like, you know, like, as in, like, you know, oh, if my boyfriend would, like, you know, tie me up and do some stuff with me, you know, that's like, you know, stuff that you know, it's basically like, you know, the dark fantasy stuff that you would want to do with your significant other, but not with, like, random strangers. That's basically is, like, you know, is what we talk about from time to time. It's a thing that's very consistent with females. It's always a consistent thing.
20,000 5-star reviews. This book has been absolutely blowing up, especially on TikTok, or BookTok, as the kids call it. Thousands and thousands of women in particular have been raving about this piece of literature. What piece of literature is it, you may ask? Well, Morning Glory Milking Farm, of course. A popular romance novel about a young woman down on her luck who does what every young woman does when facing financial struggle. She starts an OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets a job jerking off monsters.
There you
That's
go.
right, the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I have been reading Morning Glory Milking Farm since last night, and I'm obsessed.
This was a good time. It did not disappoint.
If this book—
This is literally straight up the Western version of hentai. hentai literally has monster fucking already. That has been a thing in anime slash hentai for such a long time. This is just a Western version of it. So, but the funny thing about it, these specific women, like these in general, are the ones who literally like put men down for what they like or what kind of kinks they like, you know? Where does our obsession with tentacles come from? Thank you, Japan. That's why I want my model to have tentacle toggles. That's the reason why. I like the manga form and some videos. Same. I like the manga. I like manga and videos as well. So I'm not really a huge fan of this personally. I just like the hentai version of this. It's a lot more better. The Japanese side, basically.
Is trash, then I am a fucking raccoon. Give me all of the garbage.
Get your eyeballs on this because it is so good.
And they literally ask why females in today's day and age start complaining why they can't get men. It's all about the visuals too for some of us. Facts. You are correct.
Regret to inform you that there is a new epidemic. An epidemic that many have yet to discuss. And that epidemic is female gooners. I'm reading what I read. Now, for those of you unaware, gooner is internet slang for someone addicted to porn. And smut is slang for dark romance novels. Otherwise,
I thought smut means like the same thing, porn. I thought smut was like porn. Isn't that what it is? Did we just change the dictionary for smut? I thought smut was like just watching dirty porn or porn or like, am I wrong or is this correct? Am I incorrect or something? You guys can like let me know.
Is known as porn. Many correct about the dangers of porn addiction with men, how it can destroy their lives and their relationships. And most men know the material they consume is weird. That is why they are ashamed of it. That is why they delete their browser history. That is why they go incognito mode. But these bitches freaks out here. They display their smut openly in bookstores. They proudly pose in front of their smut collections. They discuss their smut openly on TikTok.
This is literally American version of hentai, or lascivious talks, writing, or pictures. Corn, in his view, is far from being harmless. Harmless smut. Ah, okay, I see. It's Schrodinger's standard. The bar is either in hell or non-existing until you try.
TikTok. They go to smut conventions and get choked out by 9-foot-tall shirtless wendigos. Now, I know what you are thinking.
Right.
Shu, isn't this the pot calling the kettle degenerate? Yes. Yes, it is. But have you considered...
You know the funny thing about it? You know how this is technically, they're degenerate people. They're degens, right? But these women also, when they see a guy being a degen as well, they start shitting on the guy because he's being a degen with the things that he likes. But the women in general, at least in these ones, right? They're also degens, but when you call them degens, they start getting butthurt and saying, it's not degenerate stuff or whatever. You know, there actually are people who are literally like that, and they'll call you, you know, a bunch of names or whatever, you know, for some apparent reason in this time frame.
Takes one to truly know one. You see, women are strange, fascinating creatures. For centuries, men have tried to figure us out. Our mood is affected by the tides and the moon. We bleed for 5 days and don't die. By painting my face, I can instantly shapeshift from a 4 to a 6. We are truly mysterious, magical creatures. But one of the most mysterious aspects of women to men is our sexuality. You see, us women are not like those disgusting moids. No, we are sophisticated. We are evolved. We don't watch videos of strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. No, we read about strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. It's different, okay? You don't understand. It's okay when we do it.
I like a good smut book myself, but it depends on the book. Granted, I haven't read one in an extremely long time, but still. I'll read a doujin every so often, but I haven't read a doujin in like Oh god, when was the last time I read a doujin, actually? Oh shit. When was the last time? I don't remember when was the last time, actually.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the rapidly growing popularity of dark romance on TikTok and the recent dark romance convention that ended in disaster. Let's take a break from all this depressing political news and talk about something silly. Not that those political things aren't important, trust me, they are. You should be keeping up with politics and the news when you can. I know it can be difficult to do, but fear not. I have an app for that. So before we get into this video, let's quickly give a shout out to our sponsor, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers an easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias.
That's crazy. Anyways.
Right. So let's get back to the video.
Never been to a dark romance convention? I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I know there's a, I know in Japan there's a convention where girls wear the most skimpiest outfits. Like there's literally a convention like that. So, yeah. Been to SumiCon before? Neither did I until right now. SumiCon. What is SumiCon? I don't know what that is. I know there's a convention in Japan where girls like show off their bodies in like very like sexual lavish ways, but guys are there just to take pictures and everything, and they set a lot of ground rules and everything for, you know.
Book Talk is a very interesting place, and any book fans out there know how it has absolutely destroyed the hobby of literature and just flooded it with absolute slop. Spicy slop. You see, books on TikTok are not rated by how well they are written or how good the characters are. No, they are rated by the spice. And what does spice mean? Porn. It means porn. Spice level is very important to book talkers. How much spice does a book have? What are the—
That's disgusting. What's it called so I can avoid it? Shut the fuck up. I know exactly what you're doing.
Spiciest books they have ever read. How spicy is the book they're currently reading? Spice, spice, spice. The spiciest book going viral on Book Talk lately is none other than Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nascosta. Violet is a typical down-on-her-luck millennial, mid-20s, overeducated—
It's always a millennial. I'll be honest with you. Millennials do ruin it for a lot of people. I'm gonna be honest with you. There are certain millennial groups in the millennial, you know, in the millennial, like, actual, like, age range. Literally, they are not millennials. They are millennials. You can tell the writing, the way how they write stories is from a millennial, and then someone who is from a different age group, if they're from the boomers or they're from the different generation, you know?
And drowning in debt. Oh my god! She's just like me! On the verge of moving into her parents' basement, when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in the neighboring Cambric Creek. She has no choice but to grab it with both hands. Morning Glory Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, and generous pay with no experience needed. There's only one catch. The clientele is Grade A certified prime beef. Oh god, with the manly, meaty endowments to— okay.
Morning Glory Milking Farm is actually a profound critique of late-stage capitalism and toxic masculinity. In this text—
What am I listening to? Excuse me? Okay, sure, I guess. Okay, alright, sure. Masculinity, why not? Sure.
We see that the tingling sensation in her coochie is actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution.
Okay. This is every fucking bread do video to me, dude. This is every Jack Saint video. So I actually read the book myself, and I'm not gonna lie. The 19th Amendment needs to be abolished. So, like I said, the story is basically this millennial named Violet, and she gets a job basically working at Big Pharma in Narnia, where they harvest Minotaur milk to make Viagra for human males. and I read the whole thing. Probably gonna be put on some kind of watch list. But listen, this is my job, okay? I'm not out here like selling feet pics or something. What I do is far more dignified and normal. Now, let's take a look at some of these notes I wrote. Let's see. Big dick and balls. At one point, she says the term, and I quote.
Also, did you notice how many pages there are in that book by any chance? Let me see. Hold on. Can we pull back? Let me see. Can we pull back a little bit? Hold on. No. Go back forward. Let me see. Hold on. I can't find the actual.
Let's see. Big dick and balls. At one point,
look how many pages there are on that actual book itself.
Pics
That's
or something.
crazy.
What I do is far more dignified and normal. Now let's take a look at some of these notes I wrote.
Look how many pages there are for it being like basically hentai. Why is there so many pages for it to be hentai? You know, let's be honest here. Why? Why is there so many pages?
Let's see. Big dick and balls. At one point, she says the term, and I quote.
There's so many pages on the thing, to be honest. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The seam of his sack. So I'm reading this, and the whole time I'm thinking, like, okay, he probably has, like, a human head, right? He probably, like, looks something like this. Like, you know, just a dude with, like, horns. Then I see the official artwork. That's a cow.
That's the actual artwork? I see. So it's a furry thing. It's a furry. We always go back to the furries. Every single time. It's always back to the subject of it being a furry. It's not even a guy with horns or anything like that. Or like a more like what is it? More like Black Myth Wukong. You know how like Black Myth Wukong has like that one horse guy with the skin like that? I'm surprised they didn't do a minotaur with like normal skin instead of hair, you know? Like maybe I'll let that slide or so, you know, but like no, it's just literally a humanoid I forgot whatever the word is called or so. Cow, basically.
Bro is a cow. Bro is a straight up cow. In a few parts, they're being intimate, and it will be like, his hooves clip-clopped. My hooves will tear up your sheets. And it's like, I'm sorry, his what? At one point, she describes kissing him. And I swear to God, it was more disgusting than anything else described in this book. She's like describing how big and wide his mouth is and how big and like slimy his tongue is. She's like describing this shit and you're just like, that's a cow. I mean, we are at a solid 5.5 on the Barbeau scale.
Yeah, there it is. So let me see. Humans, human pro, shifters, humanoid creatures, non-humanoid creatures. What the fuck is that? That's probably me at the far end over there because I'm a Lovecraftian creature.
Hell here. This is dangerous territory, folks. She also f***ers his ass.
What?
She f***ers the cow's ass. By the way, if you want an uncensored version of this video and all my videos, Patreon. Go to Patreon, become a member. All members get the uncensored version of every video.
Crazy.
So you can hear me talking about s***ing and f***ing and f***ing a cow's asshole. Is that what you freaks want? Anyway, I like how in this fantasy world, student loans still exist. Like, we can imagine a world with minotaurs and humans in a relationship, but we can't imagine a world without student loans. Sad. Oh, and he has one of those bull rings, like the nose ring theory septum rings. And in this world, that means, like, you're married, but apparently he's divorced. The man is divorced. This is a divorced cow with a cow ex-wife. The lore is deep, folks. The funniest part, though, has to be when they go on a date. I need to just read this to you. When the bill arrived, she attempted to pull a handful of carefully folded bills from her wristlet before he stopped her. No, that's absolutely not happening. Put that away. She'd not thought about it until the day after their first dinner together, realizing that in mortification that she ought to have attempted to pay her half. What kind of feminist are you? She asked herself. She couldn't remember the last time she'd been out and hadn't paid for her half, including her coffee date with Carson Tinsley. She had come prepared that night, several weeks of her tips smoothed and tucked into her wristlet. But I didn't even offer to pay half the other night and shouldn't have... Violet. If the commanding rumble of his voice hadn't silenced her, the heat of his hand dropping to her knee would've. I don't want you to feel that you don't have any agency here. I might be the one giving all the orders, but you hold all the cards. Your comfort is the only thing that counts right now. And if I overstep, I want you to know you can tell me so. But that's not happening. Don't think I'm unaware we're at different points in our careers. You can say no, you can say you don't want to see me again, you can tell me to stop coming to the farm when you're working. It's dinner, not a down payment of your time. But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. She was a good feminist, she told herself, and she definitely couldn't be bought. But if he had suggested at that moment that he would have appreciated a blowjob, she would have fallen face first on his cock with an open mouth without a shred of hesitation. Inside every woman, there are two wolves. Or two bowls. The strong, independent girl boss and the submissive, doting housewife. And in the presence of a masculine man, or a farm animal, she will fold like a lawn chair and instantly return to factory settings.
It's dinner, not a down payment for your time.
I'm not too sure. I haven't looked into that.
But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone, so when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. I said, okay, I highlighted that paragraph for myself.
Clean up aisle 5. So that's what I thought of it. But what did other people think of it? What are the reviews on this book? This book has a 4.1 on Amazon with 21,000 ratings and a 3.6 on Goodreads with nearly 60,000 ratings.
Wow.
Let's just read some random ones here. Hear me out. Hear me out. A milking good time. Sweet and creamy. The spice is spicing. I was very leery of starting this because I thought it was just gonna be porn. The plot is pretty good. The plot? Please. This is like the new, I read Playboy for the articles, like, sure you do. This book could kill a Victorian child. 5 stars, I'll never look at a jug of milk the same. I think I'm lactose intolerant now. So that happened. Our eyes will never see the gates of heaven. 1 star, not a helpful guide. This book failed to teach me how to milk a cow and now my family has no food for the winter. 1 star, accidentally ordered while on pain medication after an operation. Gave this to my mom as a joke gift for Christmas. You what? Lesai. Why can't human males be more like this?
See, there it is. There it is right there. Why can't human males be more like this? See that? That's a woman right there that's saying that. 100%. And there's a reason why she is single and decided to invest her life reading these books.
Tall, rich, and handsome are no longer enough, boys. Now you have to be a 9-foot-tall creature from Greek mythology with a 13-inch dick. I never want to hear from another person about how they read 100 books in a year if this is the kind of slop they are consuming. Well, Ronald, man detected, this isn't for you. This is for women. So take your ass back to Barely Legal Babysitter 5 or whatever the f*** you watch that is so morally superior than this. Let him who is without sin cast the first stone, okay? God bless America. It's great to live in a country where I can casually enjoy cozy erotica about a young woman who milks her way to financial security and true love with a minotaur. This is what freedom looks like, and I intend to fully enjoy it before the Supreme Court takes this right away next. If this is what freedom looks like, I'm really rethinking my stance on freedom, not gonna lie. Maybe
I have the titles of the other 4 books from this series. No, wait, what are the names for the other titles? I can't believe there's 5 parts to this book. There's no way it's the same, right? Is it like a continuation? There's no way it's a continuation, right?
We should have less of it. All I know is if Donald Trump takes the monster porn, we are going to make 2020 look like a picnic, okay? Bullcock matters. Oh my god. Edit that out. Editor, edit that out. Women are gonna be picking up Animal Farm now, like, where's the horse cock? Some of you people owe a certain streamer an apology because this book has way too many 5 stars. Some of you are lying. So after buying this book, Amazon has given me a few interesting recommendations. Would you like to see them? I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. That time I got drunk and saved a demon.
Damn, dude. Damn.
Entling the beast. Cupcakes for my orc enemy, mane of my existence. The gargoyle and the spinster. The
Sweet Berries Moon-Blooded Breeding Clinic. Are you reading me hentai titles? It doesn't. This is like just straight up just hentai. This is just straight up just hentai stuff. This is really from Amazon? Yes, you can literally buy this from Amazon. Book 4, two for tea. Welcome to Azathe? What is that? I don't know what that is. BRB need to bleach my eyes. Milking Farm. Spoiled Milk must be the next book title for sure. This is legit hentai titles. Book 5. He Loves Me Not, a monster bait romance. Okay. I'll stick to hella bosses.
for my orc enemy, mane of my existence. The gargoyle and the spinster. The widow and the orcs. Hoarded by the dragon. There's something about dragons. Getting it on with gargoyles. Gotten by the gator. Mated to the mountain bear. Oh, so this is why they chose the bear. The billionaire orc. Moth manager. Wolves and whipped cream. The wolf in my tavern. Pounded by produce.
Well, this one right here, this one specifically, this is probably for Bao, I'll be honest with you. And if we go a little bit more forward, this one right here, this one's probably for Bao. Bao must have read that. Bao must have read this one at least. I wouldn't be surprised. But we all know Bao likes her wolf guys. It's been known. So Bao is probably out of the exception when it comes to, she is an open, what is it? She's an open closet gooner at the end of the day. So, you know, what do you expect at the end of the day? Even the vegetables have a hentai? I guess the vegetables have a hentai, I guess.
Wolf in my tavern. Pounded by produce. What? Are these the books the Nazis burned?
My husband only reads finance and sci-fi books, and so I think it's about time that I introduce him to some real literature. So the first book...
I think it's about time to introduce my husband some fine literature. Oh my goodness gracious me.
Book that I would like to introduce you to is called Morning Glory Milking Farm. And it's not a normal milking farm like with cows. What it is it's big, bulky minotaurs, and it's a special type of milking.
See, honey, she's his stepsister, and she got stuck in the washing machine again. Women on TikTok are openly, proudly talking about the porn they consume and getting mad at people when they make fun of it. I hereby ban men from reacting to romantasy on TikTok. Best-selling romantasy.
See? When guys make fun of girls doing this, the girls hate it. But when the girls are making fun of the guys, it's justified. The girls always make fun of the guys for their gooner stuff, but then when the males do the same thing for the females, they all get butthurt. They all start fucking... They literally start fucking saying, I banned guys, all of this and all of that. Even though, you want to know the funny thing about it? When it comes to guys and their gooner stuff, it's a lot more tamer compared to females. It is significantly a lot tamer. Girls, at least the girls that I've interacted with, have the most craziest, wildest fantasies I've ever heard in my entire life, to be honest. I've heard one where one girl wants to be raped by like 3 guys at the same time. Like, that's one of her like dark fantasies that like she wants to do if she has like a relationship with someone. That's like literally one of like one of the people that I've interacted in the past that wants that. I'm just like, oh my god damn, Jesus.
The books like A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Fourth Wing contain descriptions of hot sex. I feel like that's common knowledge, if not their primary purposes. But in recent months, book talk has become full of men clutching their pearls while reacting to steamy scenes from these popular female-centered books. Obviously, this is all a massive performance. We live in the age of OnlyFans. The odds are that these men have seen actual porn that defies the laws of physics and God. Over 90% of men between the ages 16 and 73 watch porn in any random month. There's statistically no way all of the—
You want to know something? That's not even the craziest thing I was ever told in my entire life. That is the tamest thing I was told. That's not even the most craziest thing I've ever heard, okay? I'm just giving you the most tamest one of them all. There is one that's even more crazier that it would probably get me fucking banned and age restricted if I try to say it.
These guys are shocked by the sex itself. What they are gawking at is sex from the perspective of female desire, scenes that depict women coming first and frequently. And what they are surprised by is the women they know love these scenes. In one video, a guy declares, "Now I know why women enjoy book clubs and wine." But his astonishment in itself is astonishing. Like, what do you think adult women were into? Not having sex and drinking wine? Grow up. Imagine a group of men sitting around drinking wine, discussing the porn they watch. That is what you guys are essentially doing. It's just—
You want to know something? At least when it comes to guys talking about hentai or anything like that, it'd probably be a more sophisticated talk or so, you know, compared to like the women or so when they're talking about like their hentai and, you know, in their books and everything. I bet you $10 if there was like a group of guys who sat down with wine and everything, they'll probably talk about like either which ship girl is the best from like from Kantai Collection or Azur Lane, who has the biggest titties in Azur Lane, who has the biggest butt in ZZZ, who has the best best porn on Rule 34 or something like that, you know. it'd be some like topics of that sort of nature if it was like a bunch of guys doing that.
funny, okay? Like,
it's funny.
Are we really going to pretend that a story about a young woman getting a job milking mythical creatures to pay off her student debt is not funny? It's funny. If that makes me a sexist misogynist,
I'll be honest.
You got me. To act like you are so different and above the other Gooners is just, it's silly. I'm sorry, but you are no different than Joe Schmo jorking it to fat booty Latina.
Well, remember, right? When it comes to guys in general, they usually compliment one each other. One each other's like, yes, this guy is very cultured. They always post that one anime meme of that one dude with his eyes closed and everything. Cultured, or whatever other specific one. They literally would be like, you are a cultured man. I would like to talk to you about more with hentai.
Nina's in Space 12. You're sitting there all high and mighty, one hand on the book, acting like you're so superior because you can perfectly envision a horse cock spinning 360 degrees in your mind. I'm not impressed. The scenes these men are reading, to many people, myself included, are insanely sexy. But purely in terms of the acts being described, they aren't all that lurid. And as many of the comments on these videos point out, there's much wilder stuff out there. For example, these men have clearly not yet discovered nodding, a popular term in romantasy right now that—
Don't tell me, is that what it is? It is. It's a popular trend that romanticizes right now that involves werewolves whose penises get so swollen after sex, they have to stay inside their partner until the swelling subsides. Nodding. Yeah. Yeah. But that's Bao's thing. Bao would probably... That's a Bao thing, okay? That's a thing for Bao. So, Bao would probably... But Bao is Bao, okay? Let's be honest here. Bao is literally in the realm of her own or so with all of that. So, like, two dogs stuck in the middle of the street. This is part of like animal. This is part of like animal, like what is it? Anatomy or so. Well, like the sex when it comes to like dogs in general. For those who don't know, you know, when they basically do it or so, the dog turns when they do it, you know, doggy style or so, like it says there, you know, the penis gets swollen and then they kind of like basically turn around or so. like they have back to back from each other, and then that's pretty much how it is.
These men have clearly not yet discovered nodding,
that's basically
a popular term in romantasy right now that involves werewolves whose penises get so swollen after sex they have to stay inside their partners until the swelling subsides. Oh, honey, that's not a popular trend in romantasy. That's just a thing real dogs do.
Yeah.
Oh, you just don't get it. You don't know what nodding is. What are these women reading, bro? What happened to that, like, stupid fucking corny Hallmark thing, going home for Christmas to your hometown and falling in love with the cute farmer boy? What happened to that? We used to make fun of that. We truly did not know what we had until it was gone. Now women out here fantasizing about getting their asses clapped by demons and werewolves and goblins and ghouls. I remember when 50 Shades of Grey came out and people were like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Women are crazy. 50 Shades of Grey looks like missionary sex through a bedsheet for the sole purpose of procreation compared to the shit the average woman on TikTok is reading.
I didn't think 50 Shades of Grey was that crazy. It's just like a dominatrix just doming a subby girl just doing BDSM stuff. Personally, I've never read the book or anything like that. I think I saw like a part of the movie, and like it was like, I'm like, this is it? This is basically what people were freaking out about? It's just literally a guy just doming a girl or something, and that shit is like normal shit in VR chat. That's like fucking Tuesday. That's like on a Saturday night or something, you know. It's like nothing too crazy. That's like a thing or so. That's like normal, like, you know. I'm all about Hallmark magic.
At least Christian Grey was a human man and not a fucking dog! You fantasize about dating the quiet, shy, nerdy girl. You know, she's innocent, she's pure, she's not like those other girls, like, going out clubbing and hooking up with random men. No, she's at home.
Yeah.
Curled up by the fire in a blanket, reading a book. Except that book is about f***ing a half man, half bull. Let me let you in on a little secret. The quiet, nerdy girl is way more of a freak than the average hoe. Are you kidding me? It's not—
Facts. 100% facts, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. The more freakier ones, also from personal experiences as well, are the religious girls. The religious girls who literally can't have sex until they are married. Brother in Christ, I have never seen such a down bad woman in my entire life, dude.
Not even close. The average hoe might have a body count of like 15 or so, but the quiet nerdy girl is fantasizing about getting back shots from Cthulhu. That is at least 100 bodies. Now listen, there's nothing inherently wrong with fantasizing, okay? There's nothing wrong with role play. You know, fiction is fiction, right?
Course,
no, you're not actually going to bang your stepsister, right? These women are not actually going to bang a cow.
Yeah, of course, but there are role plays where you can have the girlfriend play as your stepsister, or your girlfriend asks you to play as your stepbrother. That is a thing that happens. It's just fantasy. It's a fetish, you know. That's what VR chat is for. Yeah, you have that. You can if you want to get fucked by a minotaur, you can technically in VR chat if there's an avatar for it. So it's not out of the realm of possibility if you want that, but besides, because you want to know something, because like on like normal porn websites, there was like a big boom and craze, like there in a certain time frame or so. I don't know which year it was, but there was a big boom or so for stepbrothers and stepsisters. It was like basically almost everywhere, you know, everywhere is like, oh, stepbro bang stepsister, stepsister bang stepbro, stepsister brings friend bang stepbro, stepson bang stepmom, MILF bang stepson, or whatever, you know. That's the incest thing has always been a thing for quite some time, but it's not really incest, but it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just that the fetish of that in general, which the whole, you know, if you had a hot stepmom or a hot stepsister or a hot stepbrother, you know, it's a thing in hentai. That's been a thing in hentai for quite a long time. You should not be surprised, because if you watch hentai, that thing is literally common in hentai, okay? All right? You should not be shocked whatsoever. So That's all I gotta say, because it's a normal thing in hentai. It's like it's just a thing.
Or at least I hope not. We all know there is a difference between fantasy and reality.
Yeah,
well,
of course.
what
Everybody
happens
knows
when they
that.
try to bring fantasy into reality?
Uh-oh.
Well, you get Sinners and Stardust.
Uh-oh. Do you want your biggest dream to become a reality? Is this so Sinners and Stardust is the convention? I see. They're fantasizing the guy from Silent Hill? Brother in Christ, Pyramid Head is not there to fuck you. Pyramid Head is there to kill you, okay? Oh my god, dude, that's crazy to see that. But I'm not surprised. Like, it's crazy, but I'm not surprised though. I'm not surprised because I think I've seen, like, not really seen though, but I've heard and seen like pictures of Pyramid Head being like sexualized in like so many manner of ways. So it's not really, you know. It gets worse when you know Pyramid Head's backstory. Yeah, of course. Because you want to know something, because girls, like, not all girls, but like certain types of girls like red flag people, you know? They like red flag guys, the bad boys. Sorry, but I'm not into bad boys. Shocker, isn't it? So there are girls who are into serial killers, and there are some that are into the bad boys. And this is basically what Pyramid Head basically fits in the serial killer genre. And there's a lot of girls who would fetishize and fantasize that, which is a thing.
What in the eyes wide shut is going on here? Sinners and Stardust was supposed to be a dark romance ball for romantasy authors and fans.
It's basically that. It's basically, you know how like guys look at it like a broken girl and everything? And the guys would usually say in my comment sections, I can fix her. This is basically the same thing, but the opposite genders. So it'd be a girl would say, I can fix him. I can fix him. And it's like, no. No, you can't. No, you can't. Stop it. Get some help.
Like, so what's the big deal? Seems like a fun, sexy time, right? Maybe, if you're a woman. If you're a man, the night may have gone a little differently for you. Alright, y'all, it appears I have to make a post that I'm frankly pretty goddamn upset I have to make. This post is for the readers who don't understand consent and boundaries only. A lot of you may know my good friend Animus. He's attended a signing of mine in the past and obviously is a musical artist. This past weekend, he attended Sinners and Stardust and probably had one of the most heartbreaking experiences. So listen, he's a man, right? But do we think that means it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent? Or to put your hands in his waistband or down his pants or touch his dick? Hello? Do we think it's okay to quite literally back him into a corner and touch all over him to the point that he literally cannot tell how many hands are on him and whose are whose? Do we think it's okay to—
What? That's just straight up, that is just literally straight up sexual harassment. Like, that's crazy to hear this. That's wild.
Send him into an actual panic attack because of this? Furthermore, do we think it's okay to interrogate him and insist he detail how he'd kidnap a woman, despite him repeatedly saying he wouldn't do that and, you know, that shit is fiction, and then attempt to follow him when he tries to get away? And if that wasn't enough, during the time of this mob, him and another author received notification that an AirTag was tracking him, which showed on his person all the way to his hotel room. They molested this guy until he passed out from anxiety, and then they put a f***ing tracker on him in order to stalk him back to his hotel. This poor guy dressed like a character in one of the romantasy books.
Whoa, that's like literally the levels of Kamiya where they put a tracker so in her like present and everything. That's literally the same level as that, dude. That is just so fucking weird. That's nope. There should be a law on that, to be honest.
At this romantasy convention full of women. That is like throwing roast beef into a pit of wolves. Or in this case, throwing a wolf into a pit of roast beef. I remember years ago, there was this thing called cosplay is not consent. Basically, it was a campaign to bring attention to the fact that people at conventions would often come up to women dressed in sexy costumes and just grope and grab them without their consent. Yeah, apparently we have to bring that back, because these women did not get the memo. I've been a furry-
Well, apparently they're not gonna do that because remember, there's hypocrite here. If a guy doing it to a woman, it's pretty disgusting. But if a girl does it to a guy, it's a-okay for some random apparent reason in certain people's eyes. Now, this is the most wildest thing I've heard for a book signing event. That's the event. That's like the convention that they were hosting right there. Like for example, if guys can't do it to females, women in general shouldn't be able to do it to guys. There should always be a standard for both. There can't be like this whole double standard shit that be like, guys can't do it to females, but girls can do it to guys though. No, we can't have this. No, siree. No. If the guys can't do it to the females, then the girls cannot do it to the males either. Point in fact. That's it. No buts, if, or ands about it. These women should have been... I'm surprised these women didn't get charged or anything like that, you know?
For over a decade and attended a lot of fur cons. Sure, sometimes weird shit happens, but honestly, I can't believe the dark romance crowd is out here acting like this. Like me and my buddies in our fursuits are more respecting of consent and bodily autonomy. Get your shit together, y'all.
No, this is not a surprising thing, especially when these kind of women who are literally... what's the word? When they literally get, I'm gonna say it, when these women literally get no dicks in their life, and they haven't been, they haven't done it yet, they're gonna go crazy motor. So when it comes to this, when it comes to this convention, especially reading the books that they're reading of wanting to be kidnapped by a monster they're basically deprived of sex. That's basically what it is in general. And also being like, I wouldn't say brainwashed, but like reading this kind of like smut and bringing it into IRL is kind of like, okay, sure.
When the furries are calling you out for being freaks, you need to reflect.
That is pretty funny, though.
Something has gone horribly wrong. Not only were the men feral at this book talk convention assaulted, but women were also assaulted by women. Multiple women, including a performer, reported being assaulted there as well. Even an author there said she was groped and dragged away from her friends and said no matter how many times she said no, quote, my words did nothing. May I remind you—
Shit, they did. Whoa, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy to hear that one, to be honest. Not even the women are even safe in this place. If this was a guy dragging a female, that guy would have ended in jail. But since it's a female doing it to another female, she's probably not gonna get any jail time. Because that's how the society works, unfortunately. It's just how it is.
This is a book convention, okay? For books. Literal BDSM clubs are more respectful than this. There needs to be more studies on how this stuff affects women's brains. Because clearly some are unable to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Ivy Lipton, a doctoral candidate in human sexuality, actually wrote about this for Evie magazine. I don't know what a doctoral candidate in human sexuality is, but she's hot, so I trust her. Your brain on orgasms isn't neutral. Dopamine release during climax is a powerful conditioning agent. What you repeatedly fantasize about becomes necessary for arousal. If your erotic imagination centers around abuse, monstrous violence, and submission to non-human entities, your brain is reprogramming itself to crave just that. It's not empowerment, it's neuroplasticity at its darkest. Scientists, psychologists, and the general public often state that men are visual and women are emotional. When it comes to sex, men can be turned on instantly by a sexual image to spite their mood, and women need to be turned on emotionally to get in the mood. So it stands to reason that porn for men is visual and porn for women is in the—
But there are some women that actually like the visuals. They'll get turned on by the visuals. There are some. Now, it's not a big number, but there are some, though. Like, sometimes for me, from time to time, I have to be in the mood. Like, I gotta get into the mood or so to, you know, to do that stuff. I don't know. Sometimes not. Problem is, I'm so busy most of the time, I'm just kind of like, I don't really have time to read, you know, doujins now these day and ages. It's just kind of like, I was like, yeah. I would totally like to read some new doujins, but I just don't have time now these days. I'm too tired, too busy, so.
Mind. I'm not equating porn to smut novels because one is a video of two people actually having real sex and the other is, well, just words on paper. I'm, however,
well, not the hentai. Not the hentai and the rule 34 of like of video game characters, of female video game characters. That's mostly like it's not really actually like two real people. It's just two fictional people having basically sex. That's basically is what it is.
Talking about the effect on the consumer. We know watching porn is bad for the brain. That's been proven and only rejected by gooners who don't want to give it up. But is reading smut bad? You might say, duh, that's the whole point. Okay, fair enough. So let me rephrase, is reading smut harmful? Should we shame people for things that are wrong, immoral, or harmful? In my line of work, I've been told many times that shame has no place in sex. But if I use my brain for 2 seconds, it's clear that line of thinking is nonsense. Incest should be shamed, bestiality should be shamed, pedophilia should be shamed. I'm not equating monster smut with these things, but there are 50 shades of gray, so to speak, along the spectrum of harmful. Conditioning your brain and body to associate pleasure with monsters, slavery.
If you want to shame like the incest, if you want to shame the bestiality thing, or if you want to like, you know, do that stuff for like the lolicon stuff, right? Like you can. That's like your own opinion at the end of the day, right? Like let's say, for example, let's take it into like the anime, like the hentai, right? Incest is part of hentai. Bestiality is also part of hentai as well. Pedophilia, which would be the lolicon, it'd be lolicon in general. If you want to shame it, you can. That's like your personal opinion at the end of the day. But like basically where I draw the line when it comes to like, as someone who is a lolicon enjoyer from time to time, right, is when someone calls me a predator or a PDF file with no like zero proof whatsoever. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? Huh? Why are you even trying to start this conversation? That's just it, you know. I like what I like at the end of the day.
Or sexual violence is not healthy. Basically, they're cooked. Like, women are cooked. They are frying their brains with this stuff. It's a pipeline, right? It's like the infamous evil alt-right pipeline. You know, you start watching Shoe on Head, owning the feminists in 2015, and then in 2025, you're hailing Hitler, right? You know, the alt-right pipeline. And this one's like, you're reading Morning Glory Milking Farm, and the next thing you know, you're Mrs. Hands, right? Just say no. Just say no to monster porn. But why is monster smut so popular with women in particular? Like, you rarely see the opposite.
Because they can't get dicks in real life. That's the reason why, and they have to fantasize them literally getting kidnapped and monster fucked by a humanoid cow guy. Or a demon. That's basically it. It's because they don't get dicks. Period.
And when you do, it's just like a girl with cat ears and fangs, or like a 10-foot tall dommy mommy vampire with giant titties. Meanwhile, women are like, I want to f the pollution monster from Fern Gully. So people on Reddit asked this very question. Let's see the responses. Why do you guys like monster romances? Asking for a friend. Several reasons. 1, human men are quite often terrible. Romance books with human men are already partly fantasy, but monsters just takes the fantasy bit further.
Well, maybe because your taste in men isn't really that great. I'm just saying, you know, if you have a terrible experience with guys in general, that just says you just have a very terrible taste in men. That's all I gotta say, you know?
2, it's sort of human nature to imagine relationships with paranormal beings and creatures. We've been doing it in literature and art for centuries. It's just gotten a lot more graphic now, lol.
Well, it's been in hentai for quite some time. You had, what, tentacle porn, you have elf women, you have orc females, goblin females, horse girls, slime girls. Slime girls is also another one too. If all your relationships fail, maybe the problem is you. It could be, you know. It could be, yeah. Yeah, because your taste in men, in general is just not that great. I don't know, I'm just saying, you know. I always tell this a lot to my female, I was gonna say female audiences. But my female friends or so, back in VR chat, when they had like relationship problems, I always tell them every single time, you're just dating really terrible freaking guys. That's it. Your taste in men is shit. But they never listen. And they always get heartbroken. And then they break up one relationship. And then in a couple of weeks later, I see them in another relationship. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, you know? Well, if they're fantasizing about literal monsters, does that mean the humans they tend to chase are generally monstrous individuals that are just F-tier people? It's usually like, it's probably like they chase after like someone who's like very attractive, but has a very shitty personality, instead of like having someone who is a normal, average, or above average looking guy with a good personality. They just always try to go for that 1% every single time, always.
Well, 3, unique body forms / parts and so many different kinds of dicks.
Yeah, they just care about the giant 13-inch dicks. Let's not talk about fudas at the end of the day. Fudas were created at the same time to be both, where a girl has a penis, but the penis is significantly massive, and they fuck females, you know? So that's a thing. But fudas is a different thing, because technically the guy can still fuck it. I'm just saying. The guy can still technically fuck it because biologically it's still a female. So, because she has both parts. Except like, usually when it comes to fuda, it would usually be some experiment or something or some magic wizardry. They just grow a penis. And that's just basically how it is. It's just bullshit and magic. That's all it is to it.
Very mean, terrifying creature, is sweet to her, kind, takes care of her, protects her, works hard to be gentle, etc. Maximal escapism, minimal association to real-life assholes, the patriarchy, misogyny, and oppression of women, etc, etc. Because
I don't know where that's coming from, to be honest, at the end of the day. That just means you're just dating shitty guys.
Monsters are less dangerous than dating actual men. As a fat woman of color, modern, contemporary, and even fantasy romances are hard to click to because they are almost always about thin white women and just too realistic, and romance in real life is not always attainable for fat women / women of color.
Maybe you should probably work on yourself to lose the weight. I'm just saying. Because, you know, when they say they're fat, right? When these people, these specific type of people, when they say they're fat, when they literally said they're fat, they're literally like that. Here's the real question though. Would you date a femboy? I have no problem with a femboy. I don't mind traps. I don't mind femboys. I dated a reverse trap, so that basically paints you the picture, basically. So we're talking about social media fat. Well, yeah, that's what it looks like right there. That's it right there. Like, we're talking about the morbidly obese type of women, you know? I say that I'm fat because I feel fat, but I'm gonna be honest with you, at least, like, standing next to them, I feel like I'm right here. You know, I feel like I'm fat, but I'm nowhere near this. I'm nowhere near this. I'm nowhere near this. Or that. Or that. And especially that. So, yeah. It's because all of my fat is mostly in my thighs. Like, I got a little bit of a tum-tum. You know, I got a big tum-tum. That's about it. But it's nowhere near, like, this. Like, I don't have a protrude. Like, I don't have a protrude stomach, you know? Yeah, like the beer belly, basically what guys have. I don't really have that. I don't really have that in general. But it's like...
In Monster...
You know, well, when I say that, you know, as in, like, big and round, I don't have something like that, so...
Alien romance, though, my size doesn't matter, and it's easier to get into that headspace and enjoy it. I'm sick of the men on Earth and looking for some variety. Non-humans haven't betrayed and hurt me, so they feel like a safe haven.
Maybe because you're dating the wrong type of guys. This is literally all of these comments, you can literally tell them, you're just dating the wrong type of guys. And if you tell them that you're dating the wrong type of guys, they get so fucking defensive. And they always say like, oh, but those are my kind of guys. I love those kind of guys. And I'm like, honey, listen to me. Fictional characters, fictional bad boys, fictional this that you see in TV shows or drama, telenovelas, or like soap operas is not the same thing in real life. Please get that through your head. It's not the same thing. If you want your boyfriend to act and role play as a bad boy for you, for your fantasy, go ahead. Go ahead, that's fine. But if you're trying to date an actual like bad boy, a red flag person, honey, you're going to wake up real fast why bad boys don't work in real life. Why do you think tsunderes do not work in real life? There's a thing or so where guys say that like a tsundere in anime is a lot better compared to having a tsundere in real life. It just doesn't mix very well in real life. And it's the same thing when it comes to, you know, the guys that these women date. The taste that they're in does not work in the real world. That's just how it is. I tell it so many times to a lot of my female friends back when we used to play VR chat. Well, when I used to play VR chat anyways, the most. Every single time. It's always like that, you know? They tend to be too much soon and not enough dere. Yeah, they just become really annoying. That's the whole point. Your mom.
Makes sense. Plus the unusual dick. Monsters have big, fun-shaped cocks. I love some bizarre peen. Unique genitalia.
Okay.
I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. Okay. A lot of women's smut, especially monster smut, is about submission, domination, forced breeding, non-consensual consent. The women are like conquered and taken and overpowered by these...
Rape. I'm just gonna call it out. It's grape. Okay? Alright? That's it. She's trying not to say it or something. I don't think she's gonna say it, but I'm just letting you guys know what it is, so.
These monsters. And I think many of these women are reading these books containing monsters and not men because masculinity and dominance in men has been completely demonized in modern society. But the truth is, many women still crave it. You see, the monsters in these stories have those like dominant masculine traits that women like so much, but they're not human men. They have all these traits women desire without the problematic baggage human men bring, without being the men they hate or have been told to hate. It is the perfect guilt-free slop. But they don't just want a wild dominant man, they want to tame a wild dominant man. Similar to when a man sees an art hoe with a nose ring, you can save her from her daddy issues. You can do it. It definitely won't backfire and ruin your life.
Totally
Go for
not,
it. Go talk
you
to her. With many women, there's this desire for like danger and aggression, but also the desire to tame that danger and aggression. The desire to be that special woman who can melt his heart. You see, my dragon boyfriend could rip me to shreds and kill me instantly, but he won't because he's nice and he loves me. But honestly, at the end of the day, just like the video I made about the anime girl in a wheelchair where men were saying, this is the average male fantasy, and a bunch of women were like, you wanna rape a disabled girl? When in reality,
there it is. There it is, right there, chat. Right there. You see, there are women that will literally call out guys who say, this is what I want, which is the anime scene or so where the guy was basically like holding that disabled girl, helping that disabled girl, giving love to that disabled girl, building a connection to that disabled girl, saying all of these wild shit or so. And then you see them reading this kind of novels and you're just like, what the fuck, man? You know?
it was just a distilled manifestation of the average male fantasy, which is to protect and provide for a sweet woman and save her. This is like basically the flip of that, right? This is just the distilled manifestation of the female fantasy. Men are seeing this and they're saying, what do you mean you want to milk a minotaur? When in reality, it's just to have a big, strong protector and provider swoop you up and save you. And like I said in that video, they're basically both the same fantasy. This is a tale as old as time, the princess being saved from the dragon by a knight in shining armor, whether the dragon be a wheelchair or student loans, you know? But in this case, the woman is being f***ed by the dragon and the knight sits in the corner and watches or something, I don't know. Maybe it's not that deep. There are some hungers better starved than fed. And maybe as women, for the sake of society, we have to starve our hunger for minutes.
It's funny, you want to know something? I've said this before and I'll say it again. It's so weird that you guys like shame catcalling, even though that's been a thing in the olden times where you're basically complimenting a girl because she looks hot. In the Void, like women who like get catcalled and stuff like that, they take it as a compliment because they know how hard they worked, you know, their body, or like, you know, that they can also attract guys. God, does the Void also have these women who like monsters over humans? We're all monsters. What are you talking about? We're literally from the Void. We just have human forms. For God's sakes, Mama Azathoth is a fucking giant fucking tentacle monster. I am also a tentacle monster. Yogg-Sothoth is literally like a bunch of balls connected to each other. We all have human forms. But me, personally, I can change to whoever I want because I have over 1,000 forms at the end of the day. To be fair, modern catcalling in ye old times used to be like decently thought out poetry and shit. Nowadays, it's just lazy by comparison. I'm just talking about literally the catcalling from like literally construction workers doing that. And be like, damn, or like they're like, God damn, that woman. Jeez, you know. That's basically is what it is. You're just like impressed because of how attractive a woman passed by. That's what I'm talking about. Like that wasn't a thing to hate or shame anybody for it, because it just means you're really attractive. That's a thing that still happens in the Void to this day. And nobody, like, to be honest, like nobody hates people. All them void powers and forms ain't saving you from Godzilla's dropkick. Yeah, that's what your mom said too last night until I fucking laid it down on her with my BBC. The wolf whistle, maybe if we rebrand it to werewolf whistle, they'll be cool with it. You know what? You know what? That might be a smart idea actually. Instead of the wolf call, it'd be called the werewolf call. I see. The void seems to be a chill place. It is a very chill place because everyone's living like everyone like is so laid back. That's the difference, you know?
Yeah, that's the moral of this video. So what do you guys think? What is your theory? Why is the monster romance genre so popular with women in particular? And who is your weirdest hear me out? Be honest. I don't want to hear no Lola Bunny, okay? You all know mine already. It's not that he's a fish, okay? He has an energy, okay? He has a vibe.
Right.
Oh, never mind. And I will see you guys again really soon with a new video. Bye!
Hear me out. What a good video. I actually like this video. This was a very good video to watch. But yeah, I know a lot of this stuff. I know a lot shit more that is a lot like questionable things from my female friends from VR chat. It's crazy, to be honest. It would probably scar a good amount of you guys. So, but yeah, anyways, that's the end of the video. You guys can comment, like, subscribe, do all that fancy jazzy stuff. Also, look, man, women, understand this, okay? Guys can also enjoy their smut, but if you start shaming them, don't feel sorry and don't get butthurt if the guys are shaming you because of your weird smut, okay? Respect each other's smut and move on with your life. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And enjoy your smut. Enjoy what you like at the end of the day. If you like tentacle porn, enjoy tentacle porn. You like Fuda, enjoy Fuda. If you like big werewolf men, bow. Enjoy it and yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the video. And peace.